We're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Changeling the Lost Smoky Mountain Wilds. I am William, or Shawnee, and I am your game master for this, your storyteller for this World of Darkness Chronicle, Changeling the Lost Second Edition. Wow, it's getting near the end, and then my intro is starting to fall apart.
It happens.
It's like the last week of school.
Joining me today, we have Drevian.
Drevian, I am playing Frisian, a Darkling Hunter Heart.
And Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I am playing Joe Arbor, who is an elemental notary.
And Austin.
Hey, I'm Austin. I'm playing Frank and Lisa, who are a beastkin. Frank is a Lethapomp. Lisa is a polychromatic.
And Jeremy?
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Jackson Montgomery, or Merlin Dubois, who is a fair chatteling, and I would like to live in precedented times.
It would be nice. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, those are not the times we are living in.
And Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm playing Cassandra Scott, the elemental polychromatic, and I would like to have 3 money and 1 historical event, and not 3 historical events and no money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is Changeling, where we're playing the fantasy game of we have a whole lot of resources between everybody.
So I say, this is the game where we play the fantasy of having money.
They're not wrong.
I like to pretend, okay?
Yeah, I like to explore fantasies in my role-playing games, like getting 8 hours of sleep and having money.
Yes, for sure.
And, being married to a dragon person.
Fantasy comes with benefits.
And as always, Black Lives Matter, trans rights, human rights, eat the rich, believe women, happy Wrath Month, and also Disability Awareness Month.
All the wrath. Just wrath everywhere.
Anyone in particular on the Book of Grudges today, Jeremy?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm trying to think. I mean, Vince McMahon always, like forever and always. Yeah, I'm too tired with the world to think of anybody else right now, but lots. Just lots.
Trying to think of who recently is fucked up in particular, and the only thing that comes to mind is Don't Miss.
What the fuck was that, Moxie?
Julie, you said that when I was trying to take a drink.
What was that, Mox? So, when last we left off, the Motley had spent a lot of time trying to make plans for how exactly they were going to try and deal with the impending threat that is the presence of Madame Thorne and Nicholas Lansing, 2 of the most dangerous hunters that your group has ever encountered. Also 2 of the only hunters, but your third is someone's spouse. So
Met 4.
Yeah, you met 4. So, but with a lot of plans being put in place and potential help needing to be acquired, before we get fully into the thrust of things, I would like to make sure that both all of my players, me as a storyteller, and anyone who might be watching this are on the same page. Would someone like to lay out what the plan is and what assistance you intend to get from other people?
So if I remember right, the plan is Jackson getting in contact with the hunters, inviting them to the warehouse, where Jackson and Frank/Lisa will be inside. They'll start talking, Jackson making sure that the hunters can't initiate violence with this contract. And then Jackson and Frank stepping into the hedge to get away from them and detonating the warehouse.
All right. And who are you bringing in on this? Because several groups have been mentioned, crossed off, mentioned again, and potentially crossed off again.
Winter Autumn Court for covering up the explosion. And then realistically probably Summer Court to actually get a hold of a lot of explosives.
Right. We've already set it up with
the Morgan.
With the Morgan to get explosives. Or at least to talk shop today.
Yeah.
And Joe was contacting Autumn Court for some type of assistance.
Are the werewolves in or out of this plan at the moment?
Out.
Yeah, I believe we decided out was for the best.
Okay.
Since they're still within their grieving process.
I find that for many werewolves, a good healthy spot of limb ripping helps the grieving process along.
Well, yeah,
the grieving process is the murder process.
The limb ripping might be good for their mourning process. If we do our job right, there won't be limbs to rip. They will be scattered in little bits across several counties.
If we're lucky.
I see you were aiming to get the explosive large enough to achieve mushroom clouds so that their ashes can be scattered on the winds.
I just now have this vision of Frisian in that TikTok sound of Tchaikovsky. No, Tchaikovsky, yes. Tchaikovsky always, yes.
Tchaikovsky key cannons aren't musical instruments. Yes, they are, and I'm going to use 21 of them.
Frisian was taken from a theater. He knows how to do performance. Also, I imagine there's plenty of Summer Court people in construction to get access to. The technical name's RDX, but it's the main component of C4. Just a whole lot of C4.
We need to make sure they don't walk away.
If they walk away, they're coming after us.
Oh, yeah, 100%. If this fails, we're dead. Like, if this fails, I'm sorry, we're moving to Hawaii. I know we just bought a mansion, but, like, Hawaii sounds really good right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if this fails, they can't be killed.
No pressure?
No pressure. No.
All right, so with that in place, we will join the group as I'm assuming, because I believe that was the only thing that you really had on your plate at the moment, arrive at the Commons in Dolly.
Yes.
So, as you enter the Commons, the environment is a little more tense with the threats that are currently out in the city, but there's also a lot more people here than normal. It seems like a large number of people have flocked to the Commons as a safe zone where people might be able to spend time and try and avoid the dangers that might be out in the wider world. Where are you headed?
I need to get a bunch of glamour.
If somebody is willing to come with me to Autumn Court to help explain this, that would be great.
I also need glamour, so
So
Somebody
at
else.
least two of you need to go glamour.
somebody else go with Joe.
I can go with Joe.
Aye.
Frisian, you're gonna go talk to the Morgan, right?
Whatever you
We're
decide
not
did not come
picking-
through the mic.
They're probably saying they're trying to fix that. There we go.
Frisian will say, I believe that's what you've set up for, is to talk to the Morgan.
Right. It would
Right.
do well for all of us to have glamour, but you two especially need it.
All right. So as the group splits in three directions, technically four, because I doubt that Jackson and Frank are going to go gather glamour in the same place.
I'm going to Springport.
Well, you can't get glamour from changelings
Oh,
unless you make a deal with them and they give it to you.
never mind. I'm going to go out to the woods of Dolly.
Yes.
The
You
woods
would be
of Dolly.
going. You would be going out somewhere in Dollywood, which, fortunately, it is a very easy place to gather glamour because people are already in generally heightened emotional states. So, starting with Frank, what are you doing to go get glamour?
I would assume there is music happening somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to go be wherever music be.
are you going to perform?
Yes.
All right, roll me performance. That will be presence and.
I'm trying to remember the name of the app where we do that stuff.
Roll 20.
Roll 20.
Thank you.
Ah, yes. While
I
you're
was-
getting roll 20 up, whenever you get there, go ahead and roll me presence and expression. Meanwhile, Jackson, what are you doing for glamour?
Weirdly, I think we're like, all right, we're gonna go different places, and then we end up at the same place.
Yeah.
But one
also
of us is
because-
gonna have to change.
because of the environment, you are getting a natural +3 to try to any glamour attempts.
So
So presence and expression +3 from Frank. And what approach are you taking?
I believe the term is vibin.
Are you trying to
Yeah,
like
just
so
sorry, go
like typically speaking, gathering glamour requires you to like it's easier to do the higher
Right.
the emotional state is. Do you have to cause something to be able to pull it? Are you just trying to hype up the people who are already in the crowd?
more or less, yeah,
All right.
dance and yeah.
All right. So go ahead and roll me manipulation and socialize +3.
Okay.
6 successes.
You will glean 6 glamour off of your musical performance.
Is there a maximum for glamour?
It depends on your weird, which you have not anywhere near that.
So just 10?
Max glamour for one weird is 10, yes.
Why do I?
I have 2 weird. Is that
Why do you have a
increases
-2?
You have 2 weird, it's 11
okay?
is your max.
How long
Thank you.
has it been since the fight where I got fucked up?
A couple of days.
How quickly does lethal
Actually,
damage
no,
heal?
it's been a day. You should have healed at least 1 point. I don't know if anyone has used anything to heal you further.
I don't believe there was. So let me reroll that with only a -1. Yeah. Blatantly forgot this, but I've been 1 health level away from death. Now I'm 2.
And we're going. We need a few
Oh, no,
days
wait.
to get this.
No, correction. Because you went home, rested, talked about it, and made plans. Like, coped with everything, rested again. You should have healed 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
And I've just been taking a lot of painkillers and you know, booze because the type of painkiller.
Should be.
And they combine really well together. They don't combine well together.
Storyteller's
to
note:
avoid,
do not combine booze and painkillers.
do not.
We are not
100%.
medical professionals. Do not take medical advice from us.
Don't listen to them. Do whatever you want. You're an
Yeah.
adult.
You're an adult.
It's
We're
it's
not
that
your
one-
boss.
It's that
Go to
one meme
town.
where it's like, we can't encourage this, and then the other dude's like, yeah, do it.
Do
I
it.
don't know what that means
Do it.
from.
Then I will re-roll that. Yeah, no, I have a total of currently 3 health levels.
Notably,
I have
Okay.
been, and that is 100% a Jackson thing to hide that.
okay, it's like otherwise, Dr. Croak is in between Knoxville and
So let me
Dollywood.
re-roll that.
We
Yeah,
could
you
have
go by
absolutely
Dr.
stopped.
Croak. He can work on you, but
Still 3. That's fine.
you
3.
get free glamour.
3. I'm fully okay with 3 because I wasn't like completely tapped. I'm not full up, but 9 is acceptable to me.
All right. Meanwhile, well, the two of you are out doing that. Joe and Cassandra. Two of you head to Autumn.
Yes.
Who are you aiming to speak to first?
So let me just as a player. So what exactly do we need from Autumn Court?
I believe your goal was any spies who might be able to find your hunters, and also assistance with the cover up for the explosion that's about to happen.
Okay. That's what I thought. Who is about in Autumn Court? Like who is there that might be a little
A
bit
significant amount of Autumn is there. If you're looking for people that you've met before, Billy Gruff is there, Autumn Fried is there, Parchment is there.
I'm just trying to think. I mean, I guess I would start with Billy Gruff as far as information goes, but I don't know necessarily if he would deal with cover-ups.
Notably, Billy Gruff would also be a good person to know to direct you to someone that can specialize on that.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Like
Yeah.
he would, like, oh yeah, this person is good at that. So I'm going. Joe is going to approach. I guess his desk, his table.
The stack of books, ledgers, and notes that is all perpetually around Billy Gruff whenever he's at his usual workspace has only seemed to be growing in recent days. But as you approach, he sort of looks up, and again, you see that sort of like that his face, even under his mask, is relatively long, and he does have that sort of like long chin beard that evokes a goat's patch. And underneath, when you look at the mien as it sort of shifts through the mask, you can see the sideways rectangular eyes of the goat that he has. The horns that sort of curl back up his head. Good to see y'all again. It's been a couple of days since we've had a visit from. Come to think of it, I don't know if we ever got a name from your mom.
Name from who? I'm sorry.
From Motley.
No, we never got around to a name. Things just started happening and we moved it to the back burner and here we are. We do need a little bit of help, mostly with information.
Well, if it's information you're looking for, you're in one of the right places.
I'm a bit apprehensive in asking for this, honestly. But it has to do with, and Joe is just like, does not want to say the word she's about to say, but she has to say it. It has to.
Sandra's gonna just slide her hand into Joe's and grip her palm.
Mr. Ruff, I'm terribly sorry, but it has to do with hunters.
Well, that ain't the topic that's been on everyone's mind. Go on.
We need help in order to fix the problem of these two particular hunters. We were trying to get abreast of their whereabouts.
Well, as you might be aware, most of the freehold's been trying to stay low and avoid being spotted
Of course.
by any folks of a hunting inclination. However, there's a handful of us who are keeping watch, serving as early warning systems. There's a few folks who specialize in distant surveillance who've been keeping eyes on those particular folks who've been noted out to avoid.
Now, might these, I know everything comes with a price, but might these folks be willing to talk?
They'll certainly be willing to talk. And the price for the information you ask depends on who you seek. If you're looking for the whereabouts of them hunters, you'll either be looking for the Morrigan or you'll be looking for Autumn Fright. Or someone you don't know yet, but who's gotten quite aware of you. Rosebeak.
Excuse me?
Rosebeak.
Are they in Autumn Court?
I remember a winter, in fact.
And they're on my radar or the Motley's radar?
They're aware of your group and your goings on. You made a bit of a name amongst the freehold, even if you haven't got one yet.
We better think of a motley name soon or we're going to end up being the problem solvers. I'm just throwing it out there.
Now that you've said that out loud, that's what all of Autumn Court's going to think we're called.
I mean, you've already spat a few good names out in this conversation. I'm personally partial to the backbones, but that's just me.
I'm just gonna because I'm just gonna write this down real quick.
We'll take note of that and we'll take it back to Motley. Rosebeak, you said, what can you tell me about them?
Rosebeak.
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 With a C.
With a C.
Crowsbeak.
Sorry, it's hard.
Yeah.
Crowsbeak. What can you tell me about them?
As the name might imply, they're of the animalian persuasion. Dark, crow-feathered individual. You might find them up in the rafters above, where Autumn Fried and Chelsea Spinner occasionally make their home. They'd like to watch, and they keep on good terms with the local birds of the region. And they tend to tell her what she needs to know.
Else just picture the three of them up in the rafters gossiping about us.
What was that?
Anyone else just picture the three of them up in the rafters gossiping about us?
Well, So you said
She, yes.
she might be someone to talk to. The other part of it, we've talked to her about location, but we might be needing. And Joe's gonna pause. Like, how much do I actually want to reveal? And she's gonna look at Cassandra and like, how do I phrase this?
I blanked for the past 2 minutes. What are we phrasing to them? Sorry.
How to ask about the cover up.
Joe is trying to say, say we need something about cover up, but with not giving away too much information.
We're looking to run a story about, anything that might typically result in a warehouse, explosion, or fire. Gas line, main leak, things like that.
It doesn't take a detective to figure out you've got some particular plans brewing.
Well, that's kind of the idea. I mean, we just can't. You understand, we can't say too much.
I get your meaning. But, well, if you're looking, cover up your tracks for whatever it is you got coming up. You're gonna have to tell somebody. But Parchment has a good line on that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think.
As a player, can I ask a question? Is Parchment the one that was in the bookstore, or is it different?
No, Parchment is the librarian of the Autumn Court.
That's right.
Keeps all the records and stuff.
That's right. Okay. Sorry. All right, then I guess we need to have some conversations.
Thank you very much. Is there anything we can do for you? Since you were so nice for us.
What are you charging for the information?
In this particular case, it's not my charge that you need to worry about. Consider the directions free. It's the folk you're gonna have to work with that you'll have to make a deal with.
Bill, I don't know if I like the sound of that laugh.
I work the bank. Y'all already do business with me.
He's got us there.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Your whole motley does business with me.
That feels kind of wrong because I don't think Frisian's touched a bank yet.
Billy's like, I got y'all under my hoof, okay? Like,
The only transaction Frisian's done with Changelings has been was him getting handed a stack of cash.
Oh yeah.
still, I mean,
Oh, I think we need to kill this guy.
Frisian's full boomer, doesn't trust the banks apparently.
Banks are a scam created by the shadow government.
See?
I hate it so much.
I was set up so perfectly too. It was great.
You got there first. I hate you. I don't even know who I hate. I love you, but I hate you.
Burn everything.
So Parchment,
That's
I'd say that's already your
Mr.
plan.
Thank you for your time. Yeah, let's go speak to Parchment.
No, burn everything, not blow everything up. Those are two entirely separate things.
No, it's just a matter of speed.
Yeah, a fire is just an explosion that's very slow.
No,
It's like
no,
conflagration
it's
to detonation.
not.
A slow burn explosion.
It is
Legitimately, no, it is not. One of them actually destroys via chemical and heat. The other one destroys via force.
They are both combustion reactions. One happens in a pressurized environment at a very rapid pace.
Yes.
The only difference between conflagration and detonation is the speed at which it happens.
And pressurized, yeah.
The
You're muted,
CIA
Austin.
agent who's listening to
No,
this.
because you can have fires that like instantly burn something but don't create the amount of force, and you can have explosions that have nothing to do with heat. Like if an air compressor explodes, it exploded without fire.
There's due to how the decompression, there actually is a difference of heat.
Yes, but it's not the same. Just like, yes, if there's a lot of fire, it will create air currents that create force. But it's regardless, we've gone off on a tangent.
Us?
The
the hell you say?
Scream 2.
Never. Perish the thought. Parchment.
Yeah, you head over to Parchment. And yeah, once again, Parchment, as their name implies, as a reminder, their skin is parchment and just constantly flowing with different text and ink that is always visibly shifting. They have the text of whatever they've most recently read and also whatever is most important in their memory at the time, just sort of constantly shifting in and out. Which at the moment appears to be a treatise on like government organization. You think it might be the
Excuse me, Parchment, if we might have a moment of your time.
Ah, yes. Good to see you all. What can I help you with?
Well, so I don't think, according to Billy Gruff, it hadn't been any kind of secret that Motley is looking for some hunters.
Well, you and just about everyone else with an eye for caution and or danger.
So our reputation precedes us. Good to know. So events may be unfolding to which we need a cover story.
And you want me to reach into local news outlets and ensure that whatever environmental damage and or massive disruption of society your plan is about to incur is waved away by the press as something normal?
That would be the goal. I don't know how effective that's going to be, or how. I don't know how many fingers you have and how many pies. So I don't know how difficult that's going to be for you as well.
Writing is my thing, darling. I have a hand in every major editor's office in the nearest 5 counties.
Oh, you and I are about to be the bestest of friends.
So yes, that's essentially what we're looking for. We don't need any officials sniffing around an abandoned warehouse explosion.
I think I can probably get something queued up and ready to push out the instant anyone hears a detonation. Though, of course, that's going to cost you.
Understood.
I need a written write-up in full detail of what your plan is, and a preview copy of your book, she says, looking over at Cassandra.
All right. Okay.
Obviously, the preview is when it's complete.
Of course.
Yes, absolutely. I will give you a preview.
The preview.
That's down a bunch of paper.
Blank book.
That's where we're at currently. Thank you. Bye.
I have what one might consider an idea. And that's where we're at currently.
Can I interest you in a Pinterest board?
It says 3 words that are the concept typed on a single piece of paper.
They were roommates? Question mark.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Oh, they were never roommates.
That about
It's
looks like my
never
D&D
roommate.
notes of like sexy goblin question
Right.
mark, and that's
Right.
it.
The thought that comes to my mind is like, oh, this nice work of fiction from Cassandra, and we get Frisian to write up the detailed plan for the explosion. So it's like incredibly dry, incredibly technical military briefing.
Oh yeah. Joke's on you. She's into that shit.
It's not so much Parchment being into it. It's just the vast dichotomy of the writing.
Like, listen, that would make for a very intimate Friday night for her.
We will get our report to you as soon as we possibly can, and get everything squared away. We still have a few kinks to work out, but we'll figure that out. Katie?
Sure you do. I look forward to the write-up, and I look even more forward to the preview.
Well, we appreciate your help for such a reasonable price.
Every changeling wants something different.
I'm aware.
I think I'm gonna have fun with this one.
We just have to start finding our niche of thing that people can pay us with. That's all we gotta do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'll get to work. I think it might be about time to run a few exposés on the nearby city infrastructure.
Well, you just have the time of your life. And I look forward to whatever you concoct. I'm gonna look over
Oh.
it because Joe's gonna look at Cassandra and go, Linticourt?
Linticourt.
As you walk away, you can just hear Parchment in the background. Oh, the mayor's going to have a really rough election season.
Oh,
Well, the thought comes to mind, we make it even worse for the mayor. And, the city infrastructure. Do we need to blow up a couple more buildings? Make it really convincing?
I will
Frizzy,
commit a spree of arsons so that we can have a better Knoxville.
That's right, people. Make Knoxville better. Set it on fire.
Storytellers note, do not set Knoxville on fire.
Or do. We're not your boss.
We're not the cops.
Company notes: we do not endorse the setting of anything on fire. What you do is your responsibility.
Absolutely. Listen, if you're listening for me on advice on whether or not to do arson, you're already
arson.
down the wrong road.
no, here's the twist. Through his commitment to bettering infrastructure, somehow Frisian gets the popular vote and becomes mayor of Knoxville.
I'm here for this.
Listen. Sen isn't here right now to support arson, so somebody had to.
Oh, I definitely support arson.
The
But
opinions of the
apparently.
individuals on this particular episode do not reflect the opinions of Final Show Films as a whole.
Just most of them.
Hi, FBI.
we
As a
already play
reminder-
World of Darkness. We're on watch lists.
I was about to say. As a reminder, legally these are jokes.
Yes, of course. But no, Julia's not wrong. If you have story told the World of Darkness, you have Googled something that put you on a watch list.
You don't have to storytell it.
Guaranteed.
I am a true crime fan.
Also that. Like I am a horror fan, a true crime fan. And listen, if you're a true crime fan in the middle of watching those shows, you start Googling things that put you on a watch list.
You don't have to be a storyteller for World of Darkness. You're just way too dedicated as a player, and you start looking up explosives on the internet. Wondering
also
how
that.
effective to destroy a building.
Listen, I'm not doing it on county property, so my employer can chill. I am not using my work computer for this.
I am.
That's because you work from home.
Yeah, but your employer might
Yes,
find it
but it's
funny.
still my work computer.
You don't work. You don't work for the county public schools.
You're goddamn right. I don't.
So we head to Winter Court.
Yes.
Winter
You
Court.
You walk over to Winter Court before I start making Breaking Bad references.
I was gonna say. Look, it's 2024. Would you expect anything less than these tangents from us? It's 2024 in the summer. It being as hot as it currently is.
Yeah, we're all hot and delirious.
Yes.
And some of us have been up for a very long time.
The world having been what it is, particularly for the last couple of weeks. Like,
We're all hot, warm, and delirious.
we are behaving ourselves relatively.
I mean, we're not setting things on fire. We're just talking about it, which isn't illegal.
That depends on the nature of the conversation.
You know what? Let's talk about our fictional
talk
fires.
about-
Let's get back to fictional fires that are entirely fictional and definitely not real.
Let's talk about Winter Court.
So,
Warehouse is going to burn down in Knoxville tomorrow.
Winter Court. Winter Court.
I want to be clear. If for some strange reason a warehouse burns down in Knoxville, my ass lives in Oregon.
None of us are anywhere.
And
near
I
it.
don't have a car.
Yeah, none of us live in Tennessee. It was
There
not
is
our fault.
legitimately no way I could get to fucking Tennessee.
None of my friends in Tennessee would have committed arson.
I said, if you're gonna burn something down in Tennessee, Glenn Jacobs lives there.
Okay,
That's
before we
Kane
get
from
even more
WWE.
specific,
For those not familiar.
before we even get more specific, Winter Court,
So, yes,
fictional, not spill.
you make your way over to the Winter Court section of the Commons. Holy shit.
It's not like Kane didn't burn down his parents' house
Anyway,
in
You-
storyline, but whatever.
Do you even really need to go over to Wintercourt? You just have to look up at the rafters.
Yeah, I mean, we just got a call for Chelsea.
we're going to go to Winter Court because
You
this,
make
We're going to Wintercourt.
Winter Court is coming.
oh,
No. First of all,
yo,
no, because of the pun. Second of all, no. We all know that it's Spring Court that's coming.
Yeah, no, that's
It-
fair. Repeatedly and often.
Yes.
I mean, legitimately, the next season is winter
okay,
That's gonna be fun.
because you're in the middle of November.
yes,
Yep.
But
For once, it's not going to be Spring Court that's coming soon.
So we are, so
you walk your way over to the Winter Court section
Court,
of the
yeah.
Commons, and again, immediately as you enter Winter Court, the noise of all of the other courts immediately dies down, and sort of like rolling mist settles over the area, as is tradition for Winter Court.
is there? Is there anybody here that looks official?
First off, is there anybody here? As you look around, you're having a hard time spotting people.
I got this. I am looking for somebody to. I'm looking for somebody to help cover some shit up.
Well, we do owe you a favor still. You hear behind you the voice of Whisperwind.
Every time you do that, my blood runs cold.
But I'm doing it right.
And Cassandra will just sort of motion to Joe. I assume I turn around into Whisperwind, or
Yeah, I mean, she's immediate. She's like literally like less than a foot away from you as you turn around.
you're really good at that. And
Joe-
just will like Vanna White at Joe.
And Joe, who is completely used to Autumn Fright, just turns around.
Yeah, Whisperwind and Autumn Fright have very similar aesthetic,
Just
in
Not
different manners.
not even bothered by it. Sorry, Katie is stalling because Katie completely forgot what we were over here for.
Looking for hunters, looking specifically for Crosby.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We're
Who
looking
might
for
be able to
Crosby.
tell you where the hunters are?
was we were told that you have a member by the name of Crowsbeak.
You're looking for someone.
Yes.
Very well.
A few someones.
Whisperwind just sort of tilts her head back and her mouth starts to move, and she's clearly saying something, but all that comes out of her mouth is like the sound of the wind through the trees in winter. And a few seconds pass.
Frost time bullshit.
And then black feathers sort of drift down, and then there's a and a crow-like individual stands up, sort of jerkily stretching their limbs as they stand up from the crouching position of where they had just landed. And standing before you is an individual who is kind of inverted in design from the Morrigan, where the Morrigan is largely humanoid and just has sort of like the crown of feathers and the black eyes and is like largely human. But like on the edges is a little crow. In Crow's Beak, you have entirely, almost completely crow features from like upper, like their arms sort of like extend and bend in these like awkwardly jointed talons that have the full sets of wings around them. Their face is fully drawn out into this long beak with the giant orb eyes of a crow. But their torso becomes more humanoid, but emaciated. Where their arms are these like long, spindly crow's hands with wings, and their head is this crow's beak. Their torso is just like this cadaverous looking, skeletally thin, pale white humanoid torso and legs and human feet that looks like they should be dead based on how thin they appear. But they are dressed in this sort of like faint black shift that is almost sheer, and you can almost see through it, but it's got that level of like just sheer blackness to it that even though the texture looks like it should be revealing, there's nothing to see there.
Crow's Beak, I assume.
That is correct.
Cassandra Scott.
Joe Abba.
Pleasure. Good to see you.
We heard you're good at finding people.
I speak with the birds of the city, and they tell me many things. I see many people through their eyes. Who do you seek?
Cassandra will pull up the picture with Madame Thorne and Nicholas Lansing.
The crow kind of turns its head to the side so that it's one like her eyes are very much sort of like the prey style, lean more to the side than forward. So she sort of like turns her head to the side so she can get a closer look at it. She like leans in and then leans back. Yes, those drenched in blood. I have seen them.
We're looking for information on where they stay and where they can be located.
Crow's Beak kind of turns her head towards Whisperwind. The debt from before is paid already? She asks inquisitively, and Whisperwind just sort of nods. Yes, we have already repaid the debt from previous.
That's correct.
That's correct. What price does your information carry?
The two of you have vast resources.
Yes.
Yeah.
I request an Eerie.
Oh, a what?
An Eerie. AERIE, building constructed
Bird place.
specifically for avians.
That can be arranged.
Where would we will work out the details of that. We can sit down and work out that. Yeah, I think that could be arranged.
For my friends and I to be hidden away.
We would be happy to build you a house.
May have some space. We may have some property that is due to be cleared of current structures.
Yeah.
I'm not there.
I know. They don't need to know that part.
They sort of extend this taloned hand, and again, it's jointed awkwardly as it sort of like reaches out. I don't know, Julia, have you ever played the Dark Souls games?
A few of them, yeah.
You know the crow people?
Yes.
From the Painted World?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Okay. She'll look to Joe. Like, do you want to take this? Or
Joe will just stick out her hand and shake her hand.
The talons long and spindly. She's only got the 3 fingers on her hand because there's just 2 forward talons and a thumb. As she just wraps around your hand and a brief, very light shake, and then the hand retreats. Yeah, do you realize like her arms rise, like her shoulders, like her arms rise, the upper part of her arms rise, and then the elbows bend back down to create this sort of spindly wing look to her arms.
Now, if I might ask, do you have the information now? Is it going to take you some time?
And she sort of tilts her head and turns and issues this like croaking squawk. And from somewhere, you're not sure where, a barn owl just sort of like descends and sits on her shoulder. And she sort of tilts her head at it, and croaks at it a couple of times, and the owl sort of hoots at her as well as they seem to share a brief conversation. Ones you seek stay within confines of the tourist trap, the place you call Gatlinburg. They make their home there to lay low, seeming as if mere tourists while they stake their claim. A small hotel, well bought out, many rooms reserved with no guests.
So a hotel in Gatlinburg that has been bought out, basically.
Wanted to hide out and not have to worry about anybody else being involved.
Right.
It's smart, but it definitely, unfortunately, nothing is something.
Right.
Many rooms remain empty. No one in or out save these 2. Not all. The place is not safe for conflict. There are others, but many rooms are still taken.
Is there a name you can give us?
Hotel has been recently renamed. Over time, previous business went out and new one came to be. It is currently known as Clearview.
Clearview Hotel. Got that written down?
Yeah, Clearview Hotel.
Look.
Yeah, okay. You said there were others. They were there with them. Do you know if those others happen to be of the same type of occupation? Or are they in cahoots, or are they just other people that are there?
You sort of chitter at the owl for a second. The owl hoots a bit more. And the others seem to be mundane, hiding predators amongst prey.
They knew that having a completely cleared out hotel with just them there would be way too suspicious.
Right.
So they let just enough other people show up so that it's not raising any eyebrows.
Right. Makes sense. Oh. Crowsbeak, Whisperwind, you have been incredibly helpful. We appreciate it very much. And we will be in touch about the home for you and your friends.
And I should know that when you shook her hand, you felt that spark of a deal being magically sealed.
Right.
You will probably be held to that end of the bargain.
Absolutely. Well, I'm saying Joe knows that. And she's also saying verbally that she won't forget.
Crowsbeak kind of tilts their head for a second, and then the wings extend and then flap, and she just takes off back up towards the rafters. Meanwhile, Frisian.
Off to see the other crow person.
Yes. You head over to Summer Court and you see Morgan. And again, by comparison, Morgan looks more human in a lot of ways. She's just largely general, like, built, but kind of lean humanoid frame. Hair is replaced with feathers. There's a bit of feathering around her brow, and her eyes are those sort of like black and gold orbs. And she's got like taloned feet, but her body is largely just humanoid. It's a little pale.
Frisian stands at attention off to the side until acknowledged.
You stand at attention, and she sort of leans up from the table that she'd been looking over a map of the area on. The old veteran. I take it you're the one who is coming to speak of fireworks.
Frisian looks confused for a moment, and then it's like, is that what Cassandra said?
Right. You are unversed in the ways of metaphor and innuendo. Explosives.
I am well versed in those, at least.
Yes, I understand as much. What are you looking for? What kind of payload do you need?
Frisian describes the building, describes the desired effect on the building, and then gives an estimate of the amount of explosives required to do that as such. the desired effect on the building being a complete annihilation. Just
We're talking in the single-digit kiloton of TNT amount at that point. Not too big.
yeah.
We're probably still counting in tons, in fact.
It's like I remember looking at stuff last week, and it was something like 4 kilotons will completely vaporize a cubic meter of steel. So, and we're not needing vaporization.
No, you just need complete annihilation. So.
Yeah. So, like, probably not even a kiloton.
No, you're probably just looking at like a couple hundred tons.
Yeah.
You're looking for a decent amount of C4, I would assume. Something plastic, something easy to position and stable until you need it to go off.
That would be ideal. That and plastic explosives don't tend to, like, you can spill, you can get powdery residues from TNT, but plastic explosives tend to be cleaner.
Yes. Very well. You'll probably want charges placed at several locations throughout the building. I trust that you can identify placement locations. We can get you the amount of explosives that you'll need.
Possibly a concrete drill, which should be easy compared to the explosives.
What was that?
And probably a concrete drill.
Yes. Something to plant the C4.
Yeah. Lift up the carpet, punch a hole through the concrete slab, pack it with C4.
We can secure these supplies for you.
And everything comes at a cost.
Indeed. We already have you looking for ideal fortress locations. In that case, I would put your skills as an engineer to the tests in other tasks. Just know that in exchange for blowing this up, I may ask you to blow something else up in the future.
That is certainly doable.
She extends a hand.
And Frisian shakes her hand.
And you feel that passage of magic as the deal is sealed. Very well. I'll get talking with Smith and all of our other acquisitions experts. I should have the C4 that you need within 48 hours, but for now, she says as she sort of looks over. Smith. And you see an individual who looks like they are a walking end. Like their flesh is like that sort of blackened steel metallic sheen that you see on like just a standard anvil. Their shape is blocky, and as they walk, they sort of thump like they're significantly heavier than a human frame should be. You still have that concrete drill. And sort of nod wordlessly and sort of walk over to a chest, crack something open, flip a lid, rifle through several different shelves of tools that sort of iris out in different racks. Pull up an enormous fucking like drill that appears to have a hand crank, but also has like a battery section for just being plugged into power for working automatically. And then walks over, clunk, sets it on the table. We'll take that for now, and we will have the explosives within the next 48 hours.
All right. Frisian picks up the concrete drill.
It's fucking heavy. And you imagine the reason it's been built with like that hand crank is because it's designed to work in the hedge. But for when you're working outside the hedge, it can be plugged into a power source so that it doesn't have to do that. So, as all of you attend to your individual tasks, gathering glamour, making deals, acquiring explosives, as you all complete those tasks for now and reconvene with your group as a whole to establish what your current situation is and what all is going to be needed going forward, that's where we're going to take our break. And remember, folks, when we take our break, you take your break. So sit up, stretch your legs, do whatever you need to do. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Please enjoy these commercial messages.
We back.
Welcome back. So, the group of you reconvene after your efforts at gathering glamour and making deals.
So how are we doing? How did things go?
Bonk.
Frisian just drops a concrete drill on the table.
All right.
No, we made the contacts we needed to make, and don't have much of a price to pay for it. So
No, surprisingly.
I mean, you
What's I
say
like
not
to
much
hear?
of a price to pay for it. Other people would say, I have to build a fucking Airy.
Yeah.
but
That's
this
fair.
is a fantasy world where I have money to do that shit.
Yeah. We don't have to build anything. We have to finance building something.
So, and Joe's gonna say, so we've got Parchment at Autumn Court, who has the fingers in all the local news outlets. That's gonna help us cover our tracks.
Wonderful.
And we talked to Crow's Beak in Winter Court, and found out from her the hotel where our
Esteemed guests.
yes, let's go with that. Our esteemed guests stay. It's Clearview, right?
Mm-hmm. The Clearview Hotel in
Looking for
Gatlinburg.
the Clearview Hotel in Gatlinburg.
I guess it would be too much to hope that the Clearview Hotel is somewhere out of the way so we can blow up a hotel instead of a warehouse.
No, it's
Unfortunately,
in the tourist part of Gatlinburg.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. Actually,
I mean-
probably know that, to be honest.
we can still blow it up. It's just unfortunately going to. There's a lot that we have to. There are innocent people
There
who
would
have.
be innocents, yes.
Yes, it's just blowing up innocent people is bad. I get it.
Like, I think that's the kind of thing that gets us put on hunters' radars in a even worse way.
Yeah. Yes, that's the only reason. That's the only reason it's bad.
I mean, according to Frisian.
Uh,
Frisian was in the wrong line of work to be concerned about blowing people up for other reasons.
yeah, fair. All right, so we know where they are. How long is it going to take for us to set all this up? I'm the idea man. I am not the implementation man.
Oregon set gets me the supplies within 48 hours, and then another day to get everything set up and let the dust settle.
All right.
I should probably check where in the hedge various doorways in that warehouse lead so that I know where we're going. At least rough idea. Things change.
Yes, that would probably be helpful.
If any of them open to like just a maw full of teeth, please close it immediately.
What she said.
I mean, it might be relevant to know where that one is, though. In case we wouldn't leave an exit for them as well.
If you all have to go through the teeth door, then I think we have. I think that is at the point we have exhausted all of our options.
I'm not interested in the teeth door.
I found our new tagline for the episode. I'm not interested in the teeth door.
I mean,
Uh,
teeth door could be interesting. Depends on who the teeth belong to.
Teeth.
Yep. Okay. The good thing is that our debt with Winter is super easy to pay up. I apparently have to finish my book to pay up our debt to Autumn.
And
Alright.
for Winter Court, we just gotta build a birdhouse.
I have to
So
bring something
I'll-
up.
I am so happy for you.
What'd you
My-
say?
My debt to the Morgans just I supposed to blow something up at some point.
That sounds like a real hardship.
Something
Yeah.
specific?
Or
Or
just
just-
in general. It's like
To be determined at a later time.
just like I will blow up this warehouse for you as long as you explode this random car on this street this time.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah, it's definitely not
alright.
going to come back and bite us in the ass.
Speaking of ass biting,
No teeth door.
they Billy Griff brought up a great point of a lack of a motley name as a group.
I mean, teeth door has certainly gotten some traction lately.
Can we
Uh,
not?
We can put Teeth Door on the board of options.
I'm going to have to veto teeth door
Okay.
because it implies certain things that I would not like to imply about what we do.
You know what? That's completely fair. None of our shticks include teeth or doors.
Now, sex
But,
life is not existent enough as it is. Thank you very much.
So the idea of the backburners was brought up.
Sorry, the what?
The backburners.
Backburners.
Oh. Yeah, I definitely heard that wrong.
Oh boy, I hope you didn't hear it how I think I heard it in my brain.
I think there is a not zero chance of that being the case.
Okay.
Looks lost now.
I mean, for the most part, what are we, an unruly mob?
I mean, not entirely.
Yeah, I don't think we need to have the word mob in our name.
Fair.
I mean, we are a
Not-
family.
I was going to say we are not an unruly mob. We are a dysfunctional family. That is an entirely different situation.
You understand how I could look those two things up in a thesaurus, though.
That depends on how big the dysfunctional family is. You have to have a certain number of people to get to mob status.
Or a certain amount of wealth, which I think we got that one covered.
But
Not the mob I was thinking of, but fair.
why was a thesaurus brought into question?
I was just saying, like, dysfunctional family and unruly mob. Both of those individual words separately are kind of thesaurus entries with the other one. Dysfunctional to unruly, mob to family.
I can see that.
Yeah, but unruly implies outwardly so. Dysfunctional implies inwardly so. I'm not saying these are the dictionary definitions. I'm saying this is what these words imply.
That doesn't really answer what we call ourselves.
We commit our random acts of violence on each other, not to the world at large.
I mean, we are talking about blowing shit up.
Well, yeah, this one time.
Actually, twice in Frisian's case.
That's Frisian gonna do what Frisian gonna do to settle a debt.
I blew stuff up one time. Let it go.
Actually, I blew stuff up 37 times.
Since you got back?
No, were we talking about just when we got back?
Yes.
Yes.
Since you've been back.
Since you've been
So how much stuff have you blown up since you've gotten back, Frisian?
This is an important question.
Nothing yet.
Well, okay, there, fine.
Haven't had the chance.
Technically, if he does it more than 3 times, though, like, he would be a serial,
Serial bomber?
arsonist. At least.
Anyway.
Yeah, counting things that we did before we ended up going to Arcadia. I'm just going to leave that statement right there where it is.
You could
I don't imagine that number stops in the double digits.
Oh, look, a drink.
Oh, is that just my name?
Anyway.
Drunk and dysfunctional.
The disorderlies.
I like that one.
I hate it.
I was mainly joking, but you know.
I mean, we should. So we should address one
concern versus the other.
One pachyderm in the room about the idea of motlin names here, which is I'm happy to throw about all sorts of ideas and opinions on ideas. It should be pointed out that technically
you're no longer part of the Motley. Yeah.
I mean, I am, but I'm not.
Technicalities.
I mean, I don't know what the rules are about once you've broken a pledge, if you can go back and take it again.
That is a good question. I have no idea, but I feel like we should resolve some things before we tap dance on that particular line, and I don't know that they're going to be resolved anytime soon.
I mean, is there anything about breaking a pledge that prevents you from forming new ones in any way?
Not that I'm aware of. But I know shit, so.
We can always ask Miss Spinner. She's always listening.
You get there is a sudden cessation of motion above you, but you get the sense that until you actually declare that you want to speak to Chelsea Spinner, she's not coming down.
I ain't gonna do it. That's just encouraging bad behavior.
We have an explosion and a murder to plan.
Yes, we do.
I mean, our schedule's full up. Let's take care of that later.
We can deal with the dysfunctional family part later. You have a point.
So, we got the explosives. We know the whereabouts. You said it's going to take.
We will have the explosives.
We got the lead on the explosives.
Yes. They're on the way.
We got the whereabouts. Is there anything else that we need to make sure this goes off well?
I'm just trying to figure out how to get the.
Well, we got our bait right here. I'll say, pointing at Jackson.
Don't like that statement, but
I mean,
I know it's literally what we're planning.
Frank's not wrong.
That sentence doesn't sound proper coming out of your mouth.
I don't like the way he's smiling about it, but he ain't wrong.
To be fair, Frank was also part of the bait. Jackson wasn't exactly standing in the warehouse alone.
This is true.
I mean, really, who would have thought of all the people in this motley, it'd come down to the two of you?
Of note, by the way, I know we haven't been tracking this, but you do still have the Oathbreaker persistent condition.
Yes.
Until that gets resolved.
Correct. It's fine. I'm going to be dead soon anyways.
That's spirit?
So I think, I mean, no, pretty much just kind of waiting. I can't think of anything else that we'll need. We know where they are, but we can't exactly set that up until the bomb's ready. We know what room they're in.
Didn't have that much information.
Do we have someone who's good at scouting things out?
I can go take a look.
I don't.
It's a hotel. Can't you just call the front desk and leave a message for them?
That's what I was thinking, but we might want. Do we know what who they are, what names they are registered under? Are they just registered under the names?
I don't think they would generally take a reservation for Madame Thorne without a name.
Exactly.
And
so we would either need to know the room number. That's why I was asking. Because no, we're certainly not walking. We're certainly not going to walk into the hotel and like walk up to the room, knock on the door, and like, hey, can you come meet with us over at this other place? That's not going to work.
No. They also might not even if you do show up in the hotel room, they might not take the bait, but he is hoping. Yeah, Cassandra will call the Clearview Hotel and ask if there is a reservation there currently under Nicholas Lansing.
You call the front desk. You ask that question. The obviously teenager running the front desk right now just kind of looks over. Nope, not seeing that name on the books right now.
Anyone with the last name of Thorne?
Nope, not seeing that one either.
All right, thank you very much for your time.
Have a good one.
Well, Colin's a bust, but we can always go and talk to Crowbeak and see if they can get us a little more specific information. But
Point of order, from your understanding of how Crowbeak surveils things, they talk to birds.
yeah,
Whether birds would be able to get that information is...
yeah, that's fair.
Counterpoint. Would Tia be able to get? Does Tia know somebody that could get us?
Can fix or get into the database and
look for a username look for a pseudonym that they're using.
Is Tia with you? I had sort of assumed that they weren't at the moment.
No,
not at the moment. I assume.
At the moment, no.
Yeah,
but we do know that they've reserved a large block of rooms that are empty except for this.
A large block, then we got it. All we need to do is, if we can get in and do that computer thing, we just look. Yeah, I have had over my years needed to find people in hotels all the time, and it's not a matter of knowing the name or knowing the room number. It's a matter of knowing there is two people who registered in this particular room, or are registered in a room, like, or three, or there's one person who came in at 3 a.m, or whatever the case may be. Somebody rented 2 rooms. You got that information, you can find out pretty quickly. And if we can, whatever it is, computer hack the information, then we can do it without putting ourselves at risk.
I think that's a good idea. I mean, we need to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I will call my spouse.
All right. You pick up the phone, call Bologna. A couple rings by. She picks it up. Hey there. Morning.
Good morning, sweetness. I got a question for you.
Right.
We are trying to figure out currently the hotel room number that Madame Thorne and Nicholas Lanson are currently cooped up at. We have the name of the hotel.
There's a start.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's going to narrow a shit ton of stuff down for us. I was wondering because I called and double checked I did the obvious legwork, but I was wondering if there's any way we could get somebody in there to take a look at it and see if they can figure out the room number.
I mean, they're not going to sign in under the names that any hunter knows them as. I mean, I don't even know if those are their actual names. But if they are, they won't use them. And if they're not, they still won't use them. Do we have any more details than just the hotel they're staying at?
True.
They ordered, or they reserved a huge block of rooms. And they still left some people in there, but they sold out the hotel. So
right. I can take a look. Well, I can have Fixer take a look.
Something told me it was going to be fixing. But that's okay. That's what they do. All right. Give me a call back when you have any update on that as soon as you know anything.
All right. Shouldn't take long. Give me an hour or two.
Fantastic. Love you, sweetie.
Love you too.
I have my source working on that.
Wonderful. Well, what else we got?
Well, let's see what we got here. So we've got a cover up, we've got explosives, we've got intel, we've got further intel pending, we've got explosives coming within the next 48 hours. I'm assuming you two got glamour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to go do that.
So that just leaves us in a place where we need to wait.
Stock up, ready up. Anybody who needs glam, I should probably go get it.
I just want all of you to know that for the next 48 hours, I'm going to become the most insufferable person in your lives because I cannot wait for things to happen.
Oh, sweetie, that's not possible. Frank exists.
That's all right.
Could never be the most insufferable person in my life.
I exist.
I'm gonna go get glamour.
All right.
I'm going to go open a whole lot of portals to the hedge in your warehouse.
I really hate when you put it like that.
That's why I put it like that.
I hate you.
At which point you're going to have to get a whole lot more glamour again, because again, each of those doors you open costs a glam.
That's fine. Glamour's easy to come by around here.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go around opening a bunch of random holes in your warehouse.
No, that's what I'm going to do.
No, you're just gonna make one big hole.
Oh no, several
Most of
smaller
it.
holes.
No, yeah, I'm drilling several smaller holes in the concrete.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, never mind. No, yeah, you're gonna.
I'm gonna lift up the carpet and start drilling holes. Lay the carpet back down so the holes are hidden.
You could be entitled to a large cash settlement or medium cash hamlet.
So I go.
You just got it going tonight.
My brain makes connections to comedy bits that I've seen.
You're on a roll. Well, I guess the only thing I don't need to get glamour. I mean, I guess I could go set up stuff in my new mansion. That will keep me occupied.
I guess we can finally do the moving in part of moving in. I don't want to go unpack a bunch of boxes.
Get your kids to do it.
Isn't that what they're for?
I mean, yes, primarily that is what they're for. But
aren't they also like 7 and 8?
6,
7.
They're old
6,
enough
yeah.
to open boxes.
Get them started early.
I mean, don't give them an X-Acto knife, but yeah, I mean.
No, if anybody's going to show, unfortunately, it's not going to be me if anybody shows our kids knife safety.
Clearly, it's going to be me.
Yeah.
Says the person with the fires.
This is Aunt Marlena. She's going to show you what a switchblade does.
Uh-huh. You goddamn right. Sorry, you gosh darn right. Bitch.
All I can imagine is Marlena doesn't refer to them as knives around the kids and just
People
refers to them as
openers.
people openers.
Yes, they are not knives. They are people openers.
Well,
6 months down the road, just a random phone call. Hey Jackson, can you tell me why Modi got sent home today for calling a knife a people opener?
Okay. Because Modi got a bitch of a teacher.
That's you know what, that's funny because that's what Penthesilea said.
To be fair, calling the knife a people opener is not as bad as Frisian around 4th of July.
I'm now just picturing the "It Takes a Village" of this motley raising these kids.
See, I just see, like, Cassandra's making that phone call to Marlena. And she's like, okay, fine. Put the kids on the phone. Get the kids on the phone. I'm so goddamn proud of you.
Yeah.
Do you want ice cream for dinner? You just come right on.
But what do we always say? Don't get caught.
Snitches get stitches.
That's where you done fucked up. You got caught.
Now, what are we gonna do next time so that doesn't happen?
That's right. No witnesses.
No witnesses. Just here in the background going, one of them's going to grow up to be a serial killer, but I can't tell which, and my money's on both.
I was trying to keep them out of my line of work.
Okay, yeah, it's fine if they're serial killers. You just steer them the Dex route of only killing the bad people. Worked out fine for him.
Or the one that becomes a serial killer also becomes Guru. And they kill the bad people.
Well, in that case, they are a serial killer by pretty much definition.
Unfortunately, yeah.
By default at that point.
I honestly can't. I can't remember. Did James come on this little journey, or is he somewhere else?
I've been talking as James this whole time.
Oh,
I would hope James is here. He's been narrated for.
There's just been an iPad that is set up, and he's FaceTiming.
Well, I'm still stuck on the kids, and like one of the kids becomes Guru. Comes up. I am blanking on Jackson's drag name now.
Marlena.
It's like, look, Auntie Marlena, I have better people openers, and partial transforms their hand into claws.
Good for you. Well done. Now go play with Uncle Frank.
So, honey, if we're having kids, this is the village. You know that, right?
Yep.
All right.
You fucked.
I just want you to know I will not teach your children their first swear, but I will teach them how to swear.
Bold of you to assume that you get that privilege.
Well, you know what? At least I don't have to worry about we'll call it ferocious puberty.
That's
Yeah, but I'm
so. What's everybody else going to be doing for the next 2 days?
Unpacking boxes. Which is what got started on this whole little journey. I mean, if anybody wants to come and hang out at the mansion and not cause trouble, I mean, they're welcome to it, but y'all already got mentions of your own, so I don't think you really want to come to mine, but I mean, that's up to you.
I mean, there are 3 mansions. There are 2 people here who don't have a mansion of their own.
I mean, we can fix that.
That sounds like a you problem.
It is not a me problem. I'm one of the people that lives in a mansion.
I'm perfectly welcome in a mansion.
Yeah, no. Frizzy lives in a mansion. Not his mansion, but a mansion.
Yeah. All right, so we got a couple of days to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And somebody's got to do some scouting.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I guess we get a drink, and anyone who needs to go get glamour goes and gets glamour for a bit.
Sounds good.
I could use a drink.
Aquatius, can I get a screwdriver? And like 3 seconds after that, a screwdriver just floats over to him.
Make that 2.
Second one.
I'm gonna get over to that warehouse and do my thing. And I still don't have a car, so
I will.
That sounds like a you problem.
Actually,
I will. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I can drive him over because no activity should be drawn anywhere towards your warehouse in the next.
That is exactly what I was going to say, and I was going to say I was going to drive, but you just volunteered, and I never actually said it, so you are committed.
Alrighty, that works for me.
Too fast.
all right.
All right, so the pair of you are driving back to the warehouse. Along your way there, your phone goes off.
Hello?
It's me, says your husband slash wife slash spouse.
Hey, beautiful. What you got going on?
So Fixer ran a check on that hotel.
Alrighty, what info you got? And she's like, she's like smacking Frank with her loose arm, like miming like pen paper. And then we'll just put the phone up and then turn on the speaker.
I'll whip out my phone and open up the notes app.
Go ahead, you on speak with Frank.
All right. So from what we've got taken down, the hotel itself is technically 3 buildings all in the same lot. There are 2 like long horizontal style 2-story buildings, and then the office building, which is between the 2. From what we can find on the reservation list, there is a whole block of about 20 rooms that basically takes up the entirety of one side of those 2 rectangular buildings. That it all got reserved under different names all over, but at the exact same time. So that's probably our block.
Yeah.
As far as which one is theirs, every room is under a different name, and there are always 2 names to a room. They did their cover up.
Yeah, they covered the tracks. So unfortunately, it's gonna.
That's gonna come down to physical scouting at that point.
Please tell me to shut up if I need to. But how odd would it be for you to just be at the hotel?
That's a dangerous road to walk. They already don't like me. Me just showing up would definitely make them suspicious of me.
Okay.
I can do it. I have the reason
No.
to. I am technically a coworker.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to push that line as much as I can. I like it being where it's at for the moment. Okay. I guess I'll figure it out. We'll have to have somebody go scout it out.
Be careful, whoever does that.
Oh yeah, of course. Always. We're always careful.
I know you.
And I know you.
Yes, and I'm the one telling you to be careful.
Yeah, I suppose. Don't worry, everything is under control. I think.
You just make me more nervous when you say that.
I'm gonna drop Frank off at Jackson's old warehouse, and then I'm gonna be heading home. We got about 2 days till we can really get our plan in action. So I have a few days of downtime, and I'm going to focus on getting you and the kids moved over and working on my book, which I guess I have to finish now.
Would have figured you would have wanted to finish it before.
I do. It just now it's on sort of an accelerated timetable.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you.
Okay. See you, love.
See you in a bit, love.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and relay that all to the Motley?
Yeah, I'll put it in the group text.
Yeah, everyone gets the group text relaying the information that was just shared. That it's the layout of the hotel and the fact that they've basically taken up one whole side of a building, and that all of the rooms look randomized identical. All have two people, random names, etc.
Joe is just gonna put up that orange face emoji with swear symbols in front of it.
Yeah.
I should have known, and just types like, I should have known it wouldn't be that easy. We're gonna have to do fucking surveillance, won't we?
Yeah, respond. I'm driving.
I mean,
Getting speech to text.
Oh, that's fair.
You can also have Frank to text.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, because I assume Frank's reading back messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, they covered all their bases. And who wants to do scouting?
I go write that in.
my brain has been vaguely functioning. We need scouting for what specifically?
Figuring
Like
out
what room?
which room Madame Thorne and Nicholas Lansing are in this hotel room.
I mean,
Why?
is there a reason that when Jackson goes there, can't just find out then?
Who says I'm gonna go there?
Isn't that the whole plan?
No,
Go
the
there.
plan is
The plan is to get them a message.
correct.
we can do that through the front desk. We just need to know what room they're staying in.
I ain't even worried about that at this point. We know they have they have the whole floor.
I don't know if any of you ever seen those like condo hotels where it's like two like long
Yes.
rectangular
Yeah.
buildings with 2 floors each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the whole long side of one of those buildings.
They
Okay.
have
How many rooms are we talking about?
About
20,
20 to 40.
about 40 rooms. 20, 40 rooms.
Can we get the phone numbers for each of those rooms?
Theoretically.
Yeah, I mean,
They're the
with a
only
little bit of
people in
legwork.
those. They're the only people in those rooms that we're aware of.
Yeah,
Cool. Get us the phone numbers for all of those rooms. I'll ring them up one at a time. Somebody's going to answer, and if they're in that area, they're going to hear phone ring in one room for about 6 rings. Phone rings in the next room for about 6 rings. Phone rings in the next room. At some point, they're going to answer.
yeah, I mean, I
Are you
mean,
sure about that?
As long as they know how phones work, they will. Because
Because a phone, here's the thing. Just because a phone rings doesn't mean somebody picks it up.
at one point, if they are, I understand that they are psychopaths, but at some point, it's going to get so annoying that yes, they're going to answer just to make it shut up.
can I
Because
make
if
a
I hit
suggestion?
the bottom, go ahead.
Go buy a burner phone before you do that.
Obviously,
Okay, just
but once I
Also-
hit the bottom with the bottom right, if I have not gotten any responses yet,
you'll call back.
we are Hollywood squares and our ass right back up to top left and starting anew.
Also,
I have my
there-
when it comes to stamina, I have no upper limit in terms of pettiness.
also, they'll probably pick up just because, at least after the first time around, they're just going to be curious.
Also,
They're gonna think it's part of the fun.
Joe is just going to do a reply to the stamina comment and just like,
Not
Just
how
do-
I thought this sentence was going to end.
just do like the straight line mouth emoji. Like,
Frisian, not in the group text, out loud. It's like, again with the reply thing. How does what?
and Joe's going to say something for you to investigate in the next 48 hours.
Excellent. So, over the next 48 hours, Blurg,
Yes.
Frank is investigating doors. Who is going to scout, if anyone is going? Actually, no, wait, you already established that you're going to get the phone numbers and going to have
Marlena call.
Marlena just fucking go down the line. So let's start with Frank.
Okay.
You make your way to the warehouse. How many doors are in this building? I think it's just like 2. There's the one door at the entrance, and there's the one door on the inside. Or are there?
the way I had always envisioned it is this was a shitty ass like
Yeah, but you had a
terrible,
crafting room
like-
or something.
well, yeah, there's a door inside. Yeah,
That's what I mean. Like how many
Oh,
doors total?
inside-
Like inside
inside
doors.
there are
There's a master bedroom, the spare bedroom, crafting room, and a closet at least.
correct.
So there's one door to
The kitchen
outside.
is the kitchen is not a separate room, so it's its own place. So yeah, there are 3 doors inside, and then the
And a
door from the
bathroom.
outside in.
And the closet.
And the bath. Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, don't forget, we have to evaluate all of the door-like things, too.
Yes. Which I think that's the majority of them, counting like the closet and such. So closet, 3 doors inside, 1 door outside, bathroom as well. Running through all of those, that will cost you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glamour. So the 6 glamour you just earned.
Yep.
And you get a general idea of where each of those go. Interestingly enough, it looks like the door to the office leads to a trod, which is a more stable section of the hedge. It's a place where things are less likely to move around.
Excellent.
That trod, you're not certain where it goes unless you want to spend a decent amount of time trying to explore up and down.
Yes, I want to spend a decent amount of time exploring.
So over the next couple of hours, go ahead and go over the next 48 hours. Go ahead and roll me a survival check. Wits and survival.
And I get my bonus from Hedge Sense.
Yes.
I'm going to spend a willpower. I'm going to order it correctly, too. That's only 2 successes.
You get the sense that there are two places that are of note on this trod that you find over the course of your exploration. One, there is what appears to be a crumbling, ancient-looking stone keep, a castle almost, that is just along the path of this trod. You're kind of worried to try and go explore it because you're pretty certain that's the kind of thing that hobgoblins like to use as a base, and it might not be friendly. And other more dangerous things besides. And the other thing, there's a junkyard in the hedge. Like, you find just an area that is full of, like, scrap vehicles and other things that seem to have lost their way into the hedge over time. And all seem to have collected here for some reason.
Anything interesting there?
I mean, a whole bunch of broken down cars from different eras of the world. You find like an old jalopy from like the 1930s and so on.
Anything fixable?
You can roll me intelligence and crafts.
Spend a willpower. We've got 2 nights to rest. I'll get those both back. 3 success.
Theoretically, one of the older vehicles, even though it's been here for longer, seems like it's seen less wear than some of the more modern ones, possibly because it's older and more, bespoke looking.
How would I go about fixing that?
You would need to either A, get it out of the hedge somehow, or B, bring tools and supplies into the hedge. Mind you, this is a trod, so it should be easy to get back here.
Yeah. What's the car look like?
The old, the, like, kind of square-looking buggies that have, like, the vaguely open-topped, like, square roof with the big round headlights and such.
Model T.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like Model T era style, car.
I am fixing this car.
Oh, what era car?
Model T.
Yeah,
Model
like a Model
T.
T
Oh,
era
nice.
car.
I mean, good. That means it's that much. It's at least somewhat less likely of a place for my body to get stored.
I'm thinking we get in this hedge. I'm going to want a getaway vehicle.
That'll be a fun conversation.
Oh,
All right,
no,
all right,
you
get in
don't,
the
you,
hedge
don't get,
vehicle.
you don't get to be on the car, Jeremy. That's the point. I mean, no, definitely. It has a passenger space so that we can both escape freely.
Again, I thought it was going to be the place where my body gets stored. But
Anyway,
it sounds like you like it too much for that.
it depends on how all my repairs go, I suppose.
Yeah, you would need some time and materials to fix this Model T into working condition, but it could be done.
Well, I know what I'm going to request from some of the richer members of our group when I get out of the hedge.
Meanwhile, I just want to see how well you can be annoying just by dialing phones. Marlena, go ahead and roll me presence and socialize.
Okay, hold on.
Oh my god.
Wait. To be clear, I am not doing this until everything is ready.
Okay, fair enough.
The explosive have to be ready and in place because otherwise, if I tell them meet me at this place, they gonna go there beforehand to check it out.
Fair enough. I figured you might want to just like give them the taste and make them want to give them a couple days to stew in it before you give them a location.
Oh, don't get me wrong. The temptation is strong. But Marlena is trying to play this one as sure thing as possible and avoid doing things that are going to fuck it all up.
I mean, as a reminder, you might want, like, them waiting till the last second is a great idea because Jackson is a publicly recognizable face.
Also that.
Also-
And I have had public moments where I have been heard. So they could very easily that I've been recorded. So
Yes.
they could very easily figure out who it is. And then all of a sudden, oh shit, they're at my home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You hold that
I'm-
off until the bombs are ready.
Yep.
Anyone else have major preparations to do over the course of the next 2 days?
Just staying busy.
All right. Well, everybody
Writing
can
my
regain
book.
2 willpower from the days that you're going to be resting.
Yay. And I get
Those of you who are
health
injured
back.
can regain 2 lethal damage from the days that you're going to be resting.
Yay.
How's
And
clarity damage get healed?
You spend scenes with your touchstones.
Oh, okay, done.
Yeah.
I would like to contact Cassandra about parts for a vehicle I found in the hedge to act as a proper getaway vehicle. And some potential funding on that front.
Yeah, so you restore 1 point of severe clarity damage or all of your mild clarity damage for every one scene that you spend with your touchstone.
Okay. Yeah, she'll buy some car parts. She doesn't care.
Awesome.
It's a Fender. What could it cost? $10?
Mm. I'm going to repair that car over the next 2 days.
Yes, you will, because you have
Oh
Brownie's
yeah,
Boon.
Brownie's Moon. The only problem. I mean, as long as
You'll need more glamour.
Yes, I will get some glamour on the next day. I'll spend 1 day repairing, 1 day glamoring.
The Fender, how much can it cost? Well, the car is from 1913. So
What do I need to roll to fix this thing?
Uh,
And how much glamour do I need to spend to have it fixed in a day?
Dexterity and crafts, you will need 2 glamour to fix it in 1 day.
Oh, that's only working at octuple speed. It's only getting 8 days worked in 1 day.
Yeah, you do over a week in 1 day of work. Yeah, that's what it's going to take.
Boop.
1, 2. It's functional. It's not like perfect. It's a little wobbly. The suspension could probably still use some work, but you get it functioning and running.
Okay.
It is indeed a car.
I will go, and then I will go gather some glamour on the next day. Same
roll.
Presence expression.
If you're going back to Dollywood, you get the same +3 bonus.
Okay.
Dollywood is ripe for harvesting.
5, 7, 9, 12.
It's almost like they picked that spot to be the commons for a reason.
4 glamour back.
Yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
until he sees empirical evidence to prove to him otherwise, Jackson is firmly convinced that Dolly is actually a changeling and is just the permanent regent of Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, she'd be a fairest.
Not the city.
State, yeah.
The state.
State.
Oh yeah.
Cassandra will go to Dollywood at some point for glamour harvesting as well.
All right. How are you approaching things?
Nightlife, overindulgence, pushing people past their limits.
Manipulation and either subterfuge or socialize, and you get your +3 bonus.
You said socialize or what?
Or subterfuge.
Both are at a -1 for me. So I'm going to throw willpower into this too. Five successes.
Your 5 glamour back.
Wow.
One of the nights, I think Frisian will go to work and gather glamour.
All right. So go ahead and roll me presence and intimidation. If you're doing this at work, you're only getting a +2 because of the environment. It's still designed. It's just not quite as like expertly designed as Dollywood is for heightening emotion.
Intimidation. Look, where are merits? Merits. +2 dice for Air of Menace. +1 die for Mantle. And how much was the bonus for?
+2 for the environment.
+5. Okay.
Blam. 4 glamour back.
And can we do the same thing I did last time? And involuntarily cause bedlam from having too much glamour?
Did you go ahead? Did you overfill on glamour again?
I wasn't that far down.
God.
Frisian.
All right.
Oh my god.
That's gonna. All right.
Let's see if this goes horribly wrong, because the haunted house is in Gatlinburg.
Did that just shock you into a full McConaughey, Shawnee?
not the full McConaughey. I did not hit the cadence of the full McConaughey.
Just partial McConaugheying happening.
Yeah.
I just sorry, I love how like at the same time both like Julia and Jeremy just looked like highly disappointed parents at a parent-teacher conference.
Oh, I cannot wait to go back through the rewatch of this.
And like,
Yeah.
did you overindulge on glamour again? That came from Julia, and Jeremy's just like,
Amazing.
It was an entirely stupid idea, so I flipped a coin for it. The coin decided it'd be stupid.
yes, the coin decided.
I let the coin decide.
All right. Roll me manipulation and weird.
I can be stupid without a coin.
Right?
Manipulation.
I don't need help from a coin
Plus
to be
3,
dumb.
because you are unleashing an emotion associated with your court.
Unclick intimidation. Plus 3.
Yeah. Actually, plus another 2. Roll me 2 more dice. Because the
2
the targets are already experiencing it. Okay, so you'd only get the 1 success. So I'm just gonna roll some general dice here. Public roll standard 4s. Okay,
Show me with the 10s.
apparently the crowd is doing good. Wow. You
What is this?
involuntarily unleashed. I was just rolling randomly for an average crowd of people. Because, like, it's resisted with, to be fair, that's too many dice for most people. So I'm going to do some more that are just at 2, because that would have been every changeling in the room. And then, wow. Okay, you get at least 1 person to panic.
Oh, there's a second.
Jeez. So all the changelings are fine. Like when you unleash Bedlam, all the changelings in the room are just like, oh, had a little too much to drink, huh? And most of the humans in the room get a little kind of spooked and are still fine. 2 of the humans that were in this haunted house just like pants shitting terror, fleeing out of the house screaming. Which fortunately you're in a haunted house, so it just kind of gets chalked up to someone did their job really well.
Jeremy's exasperation just makes us all the better.
I was not expecting to roll that many successes on 2 dice. Just a crowd of people with only average composure. They're fine.
Same shit, different day.
I can only rationalize it as this is a crowd that's going to a haunted house mid-November.
Yeah, like
they're steeled against horror at this point.
Honestly, they must be millennials.
they're millennials. They've seen it.
Yeah, make the House of Horrors like student debt and
I was gonna say
house
it's just
payments, and then
it's just an
then
image
you
of your
will
student
terrify
debt
them.
payment
Right.
flashing repeatedly.
The 17 missed calls telling you missed your car payment.
Student debt, a temperature, a yearly temperature chart slowly going up.
But with that, we will convene on the arrival of the C4 next time. Say goodbye,
I'm so
everybody.
excited.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.